Now, the Ghana Water Company is attributing the erratic supply of water to homes lately to the onset of the dry season. In a statement issued to the general public, the company, however, assures us of being on top of the challenge and fixing the problem. It is thus encouraging the public to adopt various measures in saving water so they do not run out entirely. Director of Communications at the Ghana Water Company, Stanley Marty, joins us live on Zoom for details of the measures being proposed for the public to adopt. Mr. Marty, good morning. Thank you for joining us. If you could unmute, Mr. Marty, so we can hear you.
Yes, good morning and thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure. First off, tell us about these peculiar challenges that have come about as a result of the dry season. What are those challenges?
Okay, thank you very much. You appreciate the fact that during the dry season, we have most of our river bodies evaporating, so that the levels go very low. And that is what we are experiencing currently. Now, apart from the fact that the river sources are going low, we also have serious pollution of the little water in the system, thereby making the water extremely turbid. And as a result, we are unable to abstract enough to treat. Even with the little that we are able to abstract, we have had to dislodge about 30 to 40% of the abstracted water. We just have to dislodge them because they are so turbid and they have to go waste. So we are unable to treat enough for the consuming public, and that's the challenge that we are facing currently.
So speaking about the turbidity of the water, does that have to do with some other activities that we know of, for example, mining? Does it have anything to do with that?
Yes, it's one of the main challenges that we are currently facing. What happens is that when the raw water levels are low, that is when they are also able to operate. So now we realize that they are in full operation and turbidity has gone high. So then we are unable to, the water is so turbid that we are unable to abstract enough for treatment. So apart from that, there are all forms of pollution like discharging or dislodging effluent into our river bodies, and farming activities affecting the river bodies, fish farming, sand winning activities in some areas within the countries are all polluting our river bodies. For instance, in Tamale now, there's serious winning of sand, alluvial sand in the Nawuni River, which we abstract for treatment for Tamale. So we've had that challenge in Tamale now. In the Black Water in our West region, Galamsey is ongoing. In the Pra in the Western region and in the Central region, Galamsey is seriously ongoing currently and is affecting the quality of the raw water. As a result, we are unable to abstract enough. And then the little that we are able to abstract, we still have to lose about 30 to 40% because of the turbidity.
What precisely would you say your expectation is as a company from the public during these times? What are you looking forward to Ghanaians doing to help you?
Yeah, we expect everybody to be part of the solution, such that we all have roles to play. All have roles to play in the usage of the water in the system. We all have a role to play in stopping the persistent pollution of our river bodies. And now, currently around this season, that is the core of the issue, such that because of the pollution of the river bodies, we are unable to abstract enough.
Right.
Okay. Now, if we do not stop the pollution, okay, some of our rivers will go extinct, and then in the near future, we may not even have the water to abstract to treat at all. And we have had this experience before in times past. I just pray that it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen again. So we all have to get up our loins. We all have to get on board in the education of the general public, so that we stop the pollution of our river bodies. Because around the dry season is the main challenge that we face.
Just to push this further, how bad is the situation such that, like you're suggesting, how close are we to the point where if we don't take this seriously, we might have to do what you're talking about? You'll even run out of water to abstract. How close are we to that? Just so we paint the picture of the seriousness of the situation.
Okay, so let me be very sincere. We are very, very, very close, because we are unable to abstract water from one of our treatment plants, that is the Dawase treatment plant. So we have had to resort to another treatment plant at Busumase, so that we could abstract very little to treat and pump to secondary Takrady, because that treatment plant serves secondary and Takrady. So if we can't abstract water from Dawase and we have to resort to our booster station or our treatment plant at Busumase, then it's a very serious problem. Now, on the same Pra River as Seshaheman, where we abstract water for the people of the central region, we are facing that same challenge. The levels are low, the water is so turbid that we only abstract mud, and I don't see how we can treat or abstract water from mud and to treat for the people. Okay, so it is a very serious situation, and we are facing this same challenge in the upper west region with the black water, because it is so turbid, only abstract stones and sand, and these affect our pumps. It could break down our pumps. If the pumps get broken down, then it means that we may have to wait until we have a new pump, which becomes another challenge. Okay, so the downtimes affect us, the pumps also affect us, and then the raw water quality is the most serious situation as I speak. So it's a very terrible situation, and it's happening throughout the country. If you get to Tamale, they are winning sand in the Nawuni River, so they make the water so turbid. The sand, as they dig the alluvial soil, it mixes up, some mixes up with the water, and so we have sand particles and stone particles in the water, and then our pumps abstract or siphon the water, and then it only siphons sand and then stones, and these affect the pumps, because the pumps are not built to separate stones from water or sand from water.
Right.
So it mixes up, it goes into the swamp, fills it up, and becomes another challenge. So it's happening almost throughout the country, and so it's a serious situation which we need to address. And we all have a role to play. The media has a role to play, and as individuals, we have roles to play, because we all have relations with people who are involved in these activities. So it's important that we even talk to them one-on-one as relations. That look,
right.
You can't think of your pocket alone for it to affect the entire nation. So you need to put an end to it. So you need to appeal to our relations who are involved in these activities, so that they put an end to it.
And as a media entity, that is why we're doing this. But I just want to find out right before you take...
And we appreciate that very much.
Yeah, and I want to find out right before you take leave of us. The fact, I mean, it goes without saying from what you've said that your equipment is also being affected even in treating the water. And you talk about abstraction and the difficulty in the process and how all these water sources are running dry. Is that going to affect billing in any way moving forward?
We bill according to the consumption of our customers. So it's only on the volumes that you consume. So, and we measure that according to, we use our measuring instrument is the meter. So that whatever is happening cannot affect your bill in any way. It can only affect your consumption, because you wouldn't be getting enough water like you get all the time. You understand?
Right.
Now, the other aspect is that we are using a lot of chemicals now than before, because of the high turbidity of the water. So the more we use chemicals, the more production becomes expensive. The cost of production goes very high.
Right.
And so then it will impact on our reports to PULC. So the wisdom of the PULC, if they see our expenditure and in our operations and everything, and they decide that, look, tariffs will have to go high, then Ghanaians will have to pay for it. And that is when it will affect our bills. But currently, we haven't had any increment in tariff. So it is just about our consumption. And I think that most Ghanaians are more concerned about the volumes of water they get in a day than the monies that they have to pay for it. Right. So let us all work things out so that at least we can have enough water in our system to keep healthy and then be productive for the economy of our nation.
Mr. Mate, thank you very much. Mr. Mate, Stanley Mate is Director of Communications with the Ghana Water Company Limited.